Hey, it's Brad Browning here, relationship coach and author of the X Factor Guide. And in this video, I'm going to talk briefly about some text messages that you can send to your ex to get them thinking about you again, to rebuild some of the attraction, and eventually, hopefully, to get back together with them. So first of all, let's talk about why texting. I mean, why is texting such an excellent means of communication with your ex if you want to get them back? Well, for starters, it allows you time to think in advance. You can plan your text message. You don't have to be put on the spot. And if your ex responds and you decide that another reply is necessary to their response to continue the conversation, again, you have time to think about it and to plan your message and think rationally. Because of course the last thing you want to be doing is talking to your ex in an irrational state, saying things you're going to regret later that are going to push your ex even further away. Also, texting doesn't convey the same sort of neediness or desperation that phoning or in-person visits would convey, because a text message is very casual, simple, no more than typically a few sentences. So it's very casual, doesn't convey neediness the same way that other means of communication do. Also, there's no pressure for your ex to respond. So sometimes you don't really want to be pushing your ex into feeling like they need to respond. So that's another reason why texting is great, is because it doesn't put any pressure on your ex. Now, before I go any further, I have to give you a quick warning here. You can't just send these text messages right now if you're not prepared. If you haven't set the stage, if your ex is not in the appropriate frame of mind, if you haven't done all the things leading up to the point where you're ready to send text messages. So if you don't know what you need to be doing to prepare to get to this point, head over to my website, www.breakupbrad.com, and watch the free video there. I'll have a link at the end of the video, but again, don't send any of these messages until you're ready, until you have set the stage and done all the things necessary to get your ex to the point where they'll be receptive to these text messages. Now first, let's talk about the kinds of text messages you don't want to be sending. Because of course, that's very important as well. I mean, not every text message is going to be effective. In fact, if you send the wrong text message, it's going to have the opposite effect. It's going to push your ex even further away. So bad texts, typically they're what I call pointless texts. Things like, hey, what's up? How are you? Things where there's just no sort of interesting or funny or stimulating element to the text message. Don't send the pointless text. It's not going to help your cause. Secondly, anything involving relationship drama, breakup, anything related to your relationship, don't mention it. Just leave it alone. Your ex doesn't want to hear about the breakup. They don't want to hear about the relationship. Text messaging should only be for sending fun, interesting things that are going to rebuild attraction, get your ex thinking about you in a positive way. And of course, that also means no drama, no anger, no conflict. Don't start any arguments. Don't seem depressed. Don't show any heartbreak or emotions. Just generally only text positive things to your ex if you want them back. Now, what about the good text? What should you be sending your ex? Well, in this video, I mean, of course, there's a lot of things that you could be texting to your ex to get them thinking about you and stimulate some positive memories about your relationship and your time together. But I'm going to focus on 3 specific text messages in this video. The first one is what I call the shared memory text. Again, as I mentioned, don't be sending this or any of the other texts I'm going to talk about until your ex is ready and going to be receptive and they're going to have the effect you're desiring. The shared memory text. What is it? Well, essentially it's where you bring up a positive shared memory that you and your ex enjoyed together. So for example, you might say something like, hey, I heard the Foo Fighters are coming to town next week at the McPherson Playhouse. I know you love the Foo Fighters, so I just thought I'd let you know. Hope all's well. Something like that. Really simple. And that's just basically bringing up a positive memory that you shared together with your ex, so they're going to think about you and associate that positive memory with you. Now, of course, you're going to have to apply this to your situation and to your ex, but it shouldn't be too hard to think of something to say. On to the second text. And this is what I call the question text. Pretty self-explanatory. Basically, you're asking a text of your ex to induce a reply and get them to think about you in the same way that the shared memory text does. Now, what's an example of a question text? It can't just be any question. You can't ask them, hey, do you like cookies? Of course they like cookies. What kind of a question would you ask? Well, ideally something that also references a happy memory. For example, hey, you remember that beach we found last summer? The private cove? Yeah, do you remember which highway exit to take to get there? I want to take a friend there, but I don't remember how to get there. So again, you're bringing up a positive memory. You're also insinuating that you're going there with a friend who, there's a little mystery there. Maybe it's a friend of the opposite sex and build a little jealousy, what I call covert jealousy. And you're also asking a question, so you're going to hopefully get a response. Now you want to make sure you ask the right question. You want your ex to be able to answer it, and you want it to be meaningful and relevant so it doesn't seem, out of place or weird. And finally, the supportive text. Now this is a little different than the previous two I just talked about. In the supportive text, what you want to do is send a message that sort of reminds your ex of something you did during your relationship regularly that your ex really appreciated or was very helpful to them or supportive. For example, say during your relationship you always helped your ex with study for his or her exams in college. So a text message you might send, a supportive text, would be, hey, I just remembered that you've got that big exam next week. I'm sure you must be really stressed right now, but I'm sure you'll do great. Good luck. Again, the goal here is just to send a subtle reminder of one of the positive things you did during your relationship regularly that your ex really enjoyed and appreciated. Now, I'll say it again, I'm sorry to sound repetitive here, but again, you do not want to send any of these text messages until you've taken the proper steps to set the stage and build some rapport with your ex. And at that point, when your ex is going to be receptive, these will be incredibly powerful and incredibly effective. Trust me, I've seen them work hundreds of times. So, that's about it for this video here. If you do need more information, if you want to see more sample text messages, or if you want to learn how to get to the point where you can actually send these messages and have them be really effective, then just head over to my website, www.breakupbrad.com. And also please consider subscribing to my channel here on YouTube. I'm going to post a lot more videos coming soon, and I do offer some free advice to my YouTube subscribers. So if you subscribe, just shoot me an email with your question and I'll get back to you. And I'd really appreciate also if you'd like the video if you found it helpful. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.